Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today, we're going to be talking about why these next-gen racers were fired from 2019 all the way up till 2025. So let's start with George Newman. He was first hired in 2017 to replace Brian Spark, which Brian Spark did pretty well last season in 2016. So they delayed his career to start in 2017 instead of 2016. So let's read his bio. It says here that George Newman is a very unlucky guy. After a lot of practice, he signed with Leakless in 2016, but his debut was delayed until 2017 because of Brian Spark, a tenacious veteran, worked harder than expected. Furthermore, he was unable to obtain contingency sponsorship due to procedural issues. George has been involved in crash right away in his debut race at the Florida 500 and had many accidents since then, and conversely, cautions were coming out when he was doing well. Like, what, George? How unlucky you have to be to suck this bad, man? Well, anyway, he was always missing opportunities due to bad luck. Oh, that's why you sucked, George. And always frustrated. And he also got angry at the fact that being described as the next Johnny Blamer. But however, that anger is also the source of his power in racing at full speed, and the race win his biggest stress relief from him. So he sucked from 2017 all the way up to 2019. So, let's read his career. He debuted in 2017 replacing Brian. And his debut at that race in the Florida 500 was not good because he gets involved why am I stuttering? He gets involved in a crash by Cam Spinner. So Cam Spinner crashed into George, and he was kicked out of the race immediately. He was out of the race immediately. So as the rest of the season went on, his performance was absolutely awful as he finished dead last in the standings. Like, how did you manage to catch last, George? Like, how? So next year, his performance wasn't any better. There was almost zero improvement. Once again, finished last in the standings. Which, by the way, keep in mind, his best finish was 35th last year. And then more racers kept showing up, like Karsten Dillon and William Byreff, which he would still be in last. Wow, why do you suck so much, George? And it was terrible once again in 2019, finishing last in the standings for the third straight year. To absolutely no one's surprise, he was fired after the season. So, unsurprisingly, he disappeared from the public eye. Although, he has said that he still works for Leakless. You still work with Leakless, but you suck at racing. George? That I do like your design. That's my only good thing about you. I like your design. It's pretty solid. Well, I like it. I like your design. But I don't like your speed. You suck ass, bro. You don't do well. Okay, next up, here we have Noah Gosek, the driver who was into to physics, I think. He was into physics for racing. So he debuted in 2017 along with George, replacing Dino Dravsky, and he did better than George, actually, but only managed to pick up only 2 top 10s. Only 2 top 10s. You couldn't do any better, bro. You only managed to get 2, probably because of a crash or fuel mileage, rather than that. While George had nothing, just pure nothing. While over here, on the other hand, Noah has only 2 top 10s. Let me see the proof. You see that? Ding, 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 ding. That's his 2 top 10s. And his best performance was in 27th in 2017. Let's look at his career, shall we? While Noah debuted replacing Dino, his performance was not that good, finishing that place in the standings. You did do terrible, dang. Which he was worse in 2018. As his performance dropped a little bit, finishing 32nd. How did you suck that bad? How? And also, 2019 was not a good year for him. He had a terrible crash at the Beachside 500, which caused him to miss out one race. So he finished 34th in the standings, and it was also his final year. As he was fired, the details were ambitious, as some rumors said that he left willingly as well. One note, George Newham got fired and got replaced by your boy Eric Jones, which he did miles better than George, which Noah, got fired and got replaced by the Xfinity, not Xfinity, Junior Pro Series racer Clint Jr., which he did mild better, which he has like 7 top 10s. Let's go to his description, shall we? If you're looking for stock advice, you want to know which stocks to buy, ask Noah. He has been a smart kid in his passion for stocks. Damn, why am I stuttering so much? I mean, Jim Revick, is also a smart dude. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's not. I mean, we're gonna read short of their description drivers. But anyway, alright. Next driver. M. Slow Fong. Why am I saying M. Slow Fong instead of M. Fast Fong? Oh, I'll tell you why. I'm calling M. Slow Fong instead of M. Fast Fong. Oh, what's this? 0 wins, 0 top 10s, and 0 poles? No, God, I wonder what you suck, Michael Fong. Well, I mean, not in a mean way. You just... I keep stuttering so much that he sucked. Well, let's at least try to be nice. His paint scheme is not that bad. It's pretty solid. It does look like he could win a race. But Noah, he does look kind of mid. I corrected his eyes because in the movie, they were not like that in the movie. So, yeah, they were like that. Noah's pretty solid, though. But still, them Slow Fong did terrible. Because he debuted 2017, replacing Wayne. He was absolutely atrocious, which finishing 34th and nearly dead last. Because many Rev and Go fans were let down, as Mr. Fong had a legacy to live up after Dasher's stellar performance in the previous season with the Next Generation competition, which Mr. Wayne Dasher did finish second place in the 2016 Los Angeles 500. He finished second. And he did good at that season. This might be the downfall of Rev and Go in just a few years. 2018, it was another nightmare season, which his best performance came at the Bumper Save Years and Glory 450 at being 14th, which he again scored second to last, or rather 36th. And another bad year in 2019, which ranking 38th, which was his 3rd year in a row for being second to last. Which 2020 would suck even more, finishing 40th, and to no one's surprise, he would be kicked out of the season. Sorry, Mr. Fong. Sorry, I'm Slow Fong. Do better soon. Oh, and it was also noted that he had a rapping career before racing. So he's probably a rapper from 2014 up to 2016. So he started racing 2017, and he got fired in 2020. But I wonder what he was doing right now. Oh yes, he's a mechanic. I just got noted that he was a mechanic. He's now a mechanic with Will Rush. So he's the best mechanic. So he was fired after 2020. And would be replaced by Mr. Andy Carley, who we will talk about at the end of the video. Next up, here we have Eric Baker. So, well, as you can see, why did Eric Baker fired is the big question, huh? Why did he get fired? Just like Mr. Fong over there. The same year that Michael Fong fired. Why did he get fired, huh? Why did he get fired? Though, why did he get fired? Answer the question. Did he do good? God, no, he did not do well. I'm sorry, Eric. You do have a good design. A spectacular design indeed. But your performance still sucked. Which he debuted in 2016. Yeah, replacing Laylock. Oh my god. I think he had been promoting a lot of speed. Oh yeah, and he managed to finish second at the League Class 400, which would be a top 10 finish. That would be only one top 10 finish for Eric here. But he finished worst out of all next gen racers that who debuted at that time in the standings, which finishing 57th. Wow, Eric, you did bad. Now, next year it was not good for him. His best performance came at the Iowa Hybrid 450, finishing 15th. He usually finished near the back of the pack. And as quite accident prone this season, he finished 30th in the standings. 5 places from last. Wow, Eric, you did terrible. And in 2018, it wasn't better for him. He finished 34th in the standings. He did manage to get 3rd at the Octane Game 400, which lucky for him. A second top 10 finish. Would it be better? Absolutely not. Because he finished, 34th in the standings, which is bad. And in 2019, he showed only a little bitty type of improvement. He's showing that type of improvement in 2019, finishing 29th. Despite that, Eric was still mid. He was mid at that season? Like, how did he do good? How? Which 2020 would be his worst season of all time. He showed massive regression and finished 39th, which he was fired after 2020, and he would be replaced by Mr. Carroll over here, which we will talk about soon. So, and finally we have a good racer, Steve Slick LePage. He's only known for being a comedian and for being an RSN booth. He is currently that right now, but his career was pure terrible. He performed terribly, but still had the urge to be a comedian someday. Well, let's check how did he do from 2016 from 2021. How did our boy Steve do? Well, you're about to find out now. Hello, Steve. He is. Oh yeah, and then he entered. It was an unknown guest at the 2025. What? Hold on. Oh yeah, Georgia Safety Horn 350. He made an unguessed appearance. So, yes, he was a comedian. Anyways, he debuted at the 2016 Bumper Set Years in Glory 450, replacing our boy Dirksen, who retired mid-season. Performed pretty average, 55th, which was better than Eric actually. So his struggles still kept going next season, marked by inconsistent performances and occasional misfortunes, such as involvement with Cam Spinner's crash throughout that race where George Newman was involved as well. So while the flashes of potential earned him several top 15 finishes, his efforts ultimately fell short, leaving him 24th. We don't know how much top 10 Steve has. I hope he has just 3 or just 2. Anyways, Steve delivered another lackluster performance in 2018, failing to improve his previous season. With little to show for his efforts, he finished 27th, a slight decline from a prior year, which his performance over 2019 and 2020. God, why am I stuttering so much? He finished 28th, which was a bit worse. 2020 was yet another mediocre for Steve, which it dropped significantly, finishing 34th. Could have coincided in that number. And 2021 proved to be Steve's worst season, finishing last, 42nd, which struggled throughout the year and finished a disappointing last. His underperformances led to his dismissal from the team, replacing him with Axel Wheeler right there, right next to Rich Mixon. Which, after his firing, Steve was expected to turn his pastime a comedian for the next stage of his life, but it was now a journalist for RSN. So, what a good ride, Steve. This is not total hate. Just describing most of these racers and how they did, which would be, yeah. Steve did awful, but still has a great design. Which would be the only racer to get fired after 2021. Next up would be Jim Reverick and Spiky Phillips. I didn't know, but we're gonna do Jim Reverick first since he's basically the holder of the channel. So Jim Reverick debuted same year, 2016. Yeah. He debuted in 2016, replacing Bobby Rotessa, which is an incredibly rare diecast. It's so hard to get him. So he finished 51st in the standings. He did mild. He didn't fare much in 2017. Not breaking a... Fun fact. He finished second place one time, 2016, which got him a singular top 10 finish. He did good. He did pretty well, not gonna lie. Total of 19 top 10s, but 0 poles and 0 wins. It was kind of bad, but at the same time, he did pretty well. Only those top 10 finishes. He finished like 32nd in the season standings in 2017. He was only placing second, 2 last place finishes. With slight improvement as shown, particularly near the end of 2018, where he showed comparatively poor performance, moving from 32nd to 28th. He began to show more speed, finishing a 7th place in the Octane Game 400, which was his best, probably. He failed to secure a victory mostly in all of his career. So, in 2019, stayed the same, but he did show improvement, finishing 26th. 2018, he did lower, finishing 33rd in the standings. Which, 2021, he performed 31st, but he did slightly better. 2022 would be his final year in the Cup, finishing 34th. After the season ended, his performance wasn't the worst, actually. But despite finishing as runner-up 3 times, which makes him add all of his top 10 finishes, but he failed to secure a victory, so he decided to go back to university. I told you he was a nerd. Yeah, I told you he was a nerd. So, he quit racing and retired racing for good. He did not retire. Oh wait, no. He didn't get fired. He retired on its own. Oh yeah, and at the final race, 2022 at the Los Angeles 500, he managed to finish. What place did he finish? Oh, he finished 5th. He finished 5th place in the last race, which would be his final top 10 ever. Which Jim Reverick would go back to university. And would end up getting replaced by Brian, which was an incredibly bad decision for Carbon Cyber. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Here we have Spiky here. Oh, Spiky Phillips. What did they do to you, man, Spiky? I'll tell you why. He debuted 2017, would be following the rookies at that time, which replacing Ralph Carlub, which his first year it was mediocre, finishing 25th. Would he be his best, by the way? Oh man, why am I yawning so much? Which his performance was worse in 2018, although he only won 1 race at that season. He still had low finishes, which led him to finish 31st in the standings in 2018. His first and last win was the 2018 Tokyo 400. Why? Probably because of a storm or a big crash, I think. Yeah, which was probably that reason. 2019, another awful year, finishing 37th, which is terrible. Another terrible year for Spiky over here. It was a bit worse from last season, 38th. 2021, it was not better. They formed the same, but finishing 37th. Which, 2022 would be his worst year. He finished 41st, so Spiky was fired. And was replaced by Charles Axel Jr., which would live on to do better. But Charles would not get a win. So, next up, for 2023's bad performing drivers, here we have Will Rush.
and Sheldon Shifter. Let's do Will first. He himself debuted in 2017, replacing veteran Rev Road Ages. Well, he did good. He did do good. But he would have disappointing stages in being fast. So he had disappointing years from 2017 up to 2023. So currently he's a mechanic, which he debuted 2017. Only one top 15 finish, which he led him to 33rd in the standings. Far cry from Rev Road, they just finished 9th in 2016 despite most of the field being replaced by next gens. But he became worse in 2018, rarely making the top 20. That performance showed 35th. And 2019, 36th. He did not show any improvement. 2020 was his lowest point. He scored one bad finish after another. His best finish being an abysmal 23rd. Ended up 41st, which was dead last. Worst season for him. He did show improvement in 2021, but he was still terrible, finishing 39th. His only highlight at that year was he shockingly won pole position for the Mood Springs 400. The only pole award of his career. He ended up finishing 9th top 10s. He ended up finishing 9th in that race, which is the reason why he has only one top 10. Only one. Which 2022 being similar to the previous season, although he's still bad, finishing 38th. So in 2023, he was fired and replaced by Everett Chapcar, who is far better than Will. So, his design is not that bad. They did fix his color, which was his only good thing, so. Here we have Sheldon. And before we move on, we'll talk about Herb Kerbler. So, how did Sheldon Shifter do? I'll let you take a guess. How did Sheldon Shifter do? Let me tell you a guess how he did. He only had like 2 wins. He had 2 wins, but we don't know how much top 10s he has. He debuted in 2017, replacing Murray Clutchberg. God damn, why is it so dark? Let me just turn on the light. Thank you. So, yeah, his performance was not great in that year. 2017, finishing 29th. He did not do better in 2018, finishing 33rd in the standings. He managed to get a win at the Vitaline 400, which 2019 was not good for him though. He won the BNL 500 thanks to a crash that took out the leaders, and his performance was terrible. Made him 35th. 2020 he sucked as well, which 35th, same time, second consecutive season. 2021, 40th. He did worse. 2022 he finished 40th for the second straight year, not showing much improvement. And 2023 finished 41st. He was fired after the season. So now Sheldon helps his teammates. So Sheldon sometimes appears at the Spider Stop paddock, and it's pretty rare for him to find at the paddock. Which his design was not bad. His design is not bad. You can see the brown. I know how drastically they changed from orange to brown, which was something. But he still has a good design. So speaking of 2022, Herb Kerbler did better. He did well. He's a good racer. He managed to get how many wins? Only 2 wins. 70 top 10s and 5 poles. He did better. He did good. My boy Herb did well. He did well. 2017 finished 15th. 2018 finished 20th. 2019 same score, which he managed to win the Likas 400. He won the Palmyra one too. And in 2020, 18th. 2021, 17th. 2022 was not bad for him. Finished 19th before four-wheel drive went bankrupt. So he was jobless. And then in 2025, he would still do 2025. He would still come out well. So he switched to SPG, Smokehouse Packaged Goods. He did well 2025 as well as he being doing well this year. So what are they gonna deal with him with? He's gonna get a ride next year, 2027. Last time SPG joined the Cup was 1955. That long. He's been doing good, but this wasn't a bad racer. He was once a good racer. Now changing teams. Our next racer, we have Brian and Richie. They both did bad at the same season. Oh, and Brian, we have to do Brian on this first because he did bad. Oh, why did you do bad, Brian? Why did you do bad? It's raining cats and dogs outside, so, right? Why did you do bad, Brian? Let's see how you did. 2023 replacing Jimmy, 36th. He was bad. 2024, 39th. He sucked. But hold up, don't get upset yet. He went to the juniors in 2025, which he did better. He did manage to get 3 wins, 22 top 10s, and 3 poles for the Pro Series, which was better. Which is the reason Carbon Cyber came back as being a good team. 2023 and 2024 were the worst seasons for Carbon Cyber. Although, look wasn't that. The look wasn't bad. I colored it myself. He did absolutely awful, but now, as of now, he did well. Here we have Richie Gunsit. Hired in 2016 and then later fired in 2024. He was gonna purchase it in 2025, but no, Alex Gearbox Jr. took over. Let's see. 2016, he finished 38th. Yeah, he finished 38th. Didn't expect that, huh? Oh wait, never mind, he did pretty well. 2017. He finished 22nd. 2018, finished 24th. It was mediocre again. He was close to winning the Iowa Hybrid 450 that year, but fell short. Which also the reason why he also has 19 top 10s. Coincidence. Oh, he's still 33rd. 2020, 37th. Which, it dropped. 2021, 32nd. Which would be better. 2022, saw him go about mostly how he did in 2020. 39th. By the way, 39th. He carried his mediocre performance throughout 2023. But his best performance was at 11th place finish. Which he, although he did slight improvement, 34th. And in 2024, another terrible year. Which we once again plummeted through the standings, finishing 40th. So to no one's surprise, he was officially fired at the end of the 2024 season, being replaced by Alex Gearbox Jr. Which, to be fair, he does not have a bad design. He still looks good. Alright, final two are Carl and Conrad. Let's do Carl engine first. Wow, it keeps raining cats and dogs outside, don't you think? It's about to be like 30 minutes into the video, which is a pretty long video. So, Carl replaced Eric, which we all thought that this man was gonna do well than Eric. But no! He did awful. But let's not talk about his bad performances yet. He used to be a fan of IndyCar. When he saw McQueen in 2010, he wanted to be a racer. So he signed up in 2012, and he would win the championship. In this Energy Championship. They couldn't find him a seat until 2021. Years apart. So Eric was fired. So Carl had to replace him. Carl 2021, sucked. 38th in his rookie season. He did worse. Way worse than Andy over here. Andy. So, in 2022, he finished last for the first time ever. So, Andy Carly finished second to last, I think. And out of the top, he only has one top 10 finish from that season at the Pro Star Air Filters 400. Thanks to 2/3 of the field wiping out on the big one, which was only receive him only one top 10. 2023 is still terrible, 42nd. And 2024 was his final season before Synergy leaving the Cup due to the bad performances in the Cup. Last again. Last. Which will be the only season he would pick up a near win was at the 2024 Georgia Safety and Horn 350. He scored a surprising second place finish due to a fuel mileage and strategy, which was his best finish in the Cup Series 10. He did bad. Sorry, but you did bad. Anyways, here come the good drivers. The better drivers. The phenomenal, awesome drivers. Conrad Camper. He debuted 2017. He did well. Oh, and also, he is British. So, this confirms it would be the Hall and Gas of the Cup. But, in 2017, he did do well. He scored 16th throughout 2017. In 2018, he got a decline, 19th. Which is 2019, 22nd. 2020 was a good year for him, though. 15th in the standings. 2021 was his good season. His best season. Scoring 2 wins at Pocono and the Grand Oil Co 400. Snapping a long winless streak. He also barely missed out on the win at the Florida 500 to former rival Nick Schiff. He was relatively consistent throughout, finishing 9th, which would be his best. 2022 saw a huge decline. 2020, 23rd in the standings. Next year, 25th in the standings. It was kind of worse. But 2024, the Olympic break would hit and would cause him to retire on its own. He did not do bad. He had to retire on its own due to his things. He had to retire racing due to his things. So he was fired. And everybody misses him now, I say. So he got replaced by Justin Reynolds last year. Oh, and also, earlier this year, he made a return at the 2026 Hidden City Cafe from San Diego 200, racing for HTV after Jacob Bradford Rutherford suffering an intense wreck. So, it was his final race. So, now he is taking a really good break. Now, to the final last 3 racers. Let's start off with the worst. Let's start with the worst one of this group. The worst one in this group, Andy Carly. He did do bad. He did bad. He only had 1 top 10. We'll talk about that in a minute. He used to be a Rev & Go employee, now a Rev & Go racer. How crazy is that? 2021, replacing Michael Fong. He did atrocious, finishing 41st. It was terrible. Second to last. 4th time, went second to last in the championship. This might be the fault for Rev & Go. Oh, and also, not bad design for Conrad, as well as Carl. But he still did bad. 2022, finishing 42nd, second to last for the 6th year. For the 6th time, 2023 would be the worst year of his career ever. 11 DNFs, did not score a single top 20, and even finishing last. They took home 9 last place finishes and 5 penultimate, making up a double-digit points in the extinguished number of 3 races. Insult bad injury. So he would be last ever. Last. 2024 saw improvement. Although he had a good season. Only 1 time at a race, but he was still horrible. His lone highlight from the season was when he pushed Clint Jr. to win at the BNL 500. He eventually faded and finished 7th, which would be his only top 10 finish. Only top 10 finish. And it was still lingering towards the back of the pack. 41st. His best. 2025 still sucked. Last year, I remember seeing him. And when they announced that Revengo was going to go bankrupt, he was going to get kicked out of the team. They kicked him out. So now, oh yeah, and he did 42nd, second to last again. So he was kicked out in 2025, after 2025. So now he's racing in the prestigious racing series, kind of like the modified tour one, like in short tracks. I think he would win the championship by now, cause he won 6 races in the prestigious racing series. He's doing okay. Andy had a good design, bad performance. Here we have our boy Jonas Carvers. So how did he do? Might you ask? How did he do? He did mid. Not a bad performer, but it was mid. 4 wins, 32 top 10s, and 4 poles. Kind of weird that we see him at the top of the grid, although he did perform bad. 2016, replacing Todd Marcus, finishing 53rd, which was not great. 2017 was not his best, finishing 26th. He scored 2 wins in the 2018 Cup season. He still didn't shoot up as the likes of Rich and John Phillip. He still made nonetheless improvement, finishing 22nd. 2019 would be his best season. He won the Glen Ellen 350, 21st. 2020, mediocre at best. He won the Brickyard 400, which as of now his final career win. He finished 31st in the standings, but probably he would have finished higher if he wasn't penalized in 2 races. 2021, 35th. 2022, 37th. 2023, his best performance came at that Brickyard 400 again, finishing 17th. Finished 40th. 2024, they wanted him fired, but they wanted Matt Clutchin to replace him. And in 2025, he was gonna still racing. They were mad. The fans were mad. But still, he would suck. Finishing last. But it was only a 13th place spot would be at the Mood Springs 400 due to a big crash, which took out most of the runners. He did finish last in standings. He did get replaced by Matt Clutchin, but Matt would get a lot of crashes. But I think I don't know. I think he would do well. Anyways, final racer of the day, Eric Almirola. So, how did he do? He did okay. 1 win, 9 top 10s, and a pole. He debuted 2019. He would finish 27th. 2020, 28th. He had a win. 2020 guys for 350. 28th in the standings. 2021, 33rd. 2022, 35th. 2023, no improvement, 35th. He continued to get it worse in 2024. Another terrible year throughout the year. And Solzinger finishing 38th. 2025, 39th. What a terrible performance he had. But in 2026, he went from the Cup to the Pro Series, which he would do well. He had 6 wins. He has 6 wins in the Pro Series. So after this firing, he would get replaced by Tom Shiftwright. And those are all of the low performing racers. So which racer was your favorite? Which of them sucked the worst? Which of them you root for, even though they did bad? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time.